Today, the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, MFC, invites you to the launch of the groundbreaking Child Poverty Study. This is an important initiative aimed at understanding and tackling child poverty in South Africa. This study highlights pressing challenges and outlines pathways to a future where every child can thrive. Let's dip in now to the event.
Research. Beyond all of us here today, needs to go out the message that says, let's read the script, but let's not read it for the sake of reading it. Let's read it so that we can sit down and say, what do we need to do differently? You know, policy, one of my learned colleagues was saying, you know, when a state implements a policy, it takes about at least 15 years to see the result of whether or not it's working. So we've had 30 years to see that the manner in which we are doing it right now is not working. And so we're not going to get the answers of what do we need to do differently now. But I think we need to ignite the conversation that says, let's step back and let's look at what does need to change, because something does need to change. As we gather here and converse, let's pick up the conversations on Monday. Let not, please, I implore you, that this doesn't become a Saturday morning, this is what we did on the 2nd of November, but that we start to have strategic conversations, working towards these critical challenges, partnering, collaborating, and having a plethora of discussions that can lead to a change in policy, to a systemic change, because that is the change that's going to be the lever that gives us the difference that we need to see. Let me reiterate the importance of stakeholders in this work. I really want to thank the media for the role that they took on when just over almost 2 years ago, we called them into a meeting and said, guys, this work needs you. You can't be rushing to only when there's a breaking story and a child has disappeared, and then we need to be constantly talking about the state of children, because that little baby has not yet developed the ability to advocate for herself. So we need the media to be constantly putting it up on the radar. The state of children in South Africa has got to change. So I really, really want to thank our partners in the media for the role that they have played in ensuring that we can get the message out constantly and consistently in the work that we do. Because the work that needs to start now has got to be work that is towards leaving a legacy for our children that they can be proud of and be empowered to carry forward. Nelson Mandela once said, and I'm paraphrasing it, I mean, I can't be working for Nelson Mandela Children's Fund and sit down without sharing some of the diamonds that came out of him, that children are a nation's greatest asset. And what we as a nation are doing is depreciating that asset. And that asset actually is the foundation of the current and future families and organizations. The children that are currently living in a South Africa that has us in fight and flight mode all the time are the foundation of the future of South Africa and of the world. So we dare not wait until they are youth and then start saying, youth unemployment, crime, and it all started with what we failed to do when the mothers were pregnant. Making sure that this mother's stress levels are at a level where she does not have to think about the next meal.
All right, that's for the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, and that is all happening there in Soweto. And this is at the launch of the groundbreaking child poverty study, which is currently happening.